Hello guys, welcome back to the Transfer Daily YouTube channel, and today we are back with more updates from the transfer market and many things going on as the transfer window not even open yet, but many things going on. And starting off then with Rodrygo with Jeremy Hernandez. So Jeremy Hernandez was a player of interest in January of Chelsea. Chelsea had bids through that got rejected. Also same with Como, Italian side. And what is the new update with this, and it is that Como are willing to trigger the release clause of Jeremy Hernandez this summer, so he's one of the top options. We know Cesc Fabregas looks like he's going to stay at Como despite interest from Bayer Leverkusen, and now they're working on potential targets after they've won 6 games in a row, a brilliant season for them. They've got Nico Paz, Asane Diao, and they are intrigued on bringing in these young talent from across the country. So Jeremy Hernandez is one of these, and they're willing to trigger the release clause. And the release clause is believed to be in excess of 30 million euros. So some people have said it's 30 million euros. At the moment, I'm not sure on the exact fee, but it is in excess of 30 million euros. So quite a lot of money for Como, but they are prepared to trigger it because they have a lot of faith in the player. And before doing this, so Como are working on an agreement on personal terms. So you want to get the agreement on personal terms because there's also other clubs in Europe, some top clubs like Chelsea who have interest in Hernandez. So let's wait and see. But they will get an agreement first on personal terms is what they're working on now, before then triggering the release clause of 30 million euros in excess of that. Yesterday's video then, we talked about Tijjani Reinders, and what can I say on the first bid then? So Manchester City's top target from the number 8 as he play in the FA Cup final in a few hours' time is Tijjani Reinders for the new number 8 position. They want in the summer. We know a midfield overhaul expected to happen at Manchester City this summer, and Tijjani Reinders is the top target for the central midfield position. And as we know, Manchester City are expected to send an opening bid in the next weeks, maybe next week, or in the next weeks. And the first Manchester City bid to AC Milan will be over 50 million euros. So I've said AC Milan will want around 65 million euros, maybe over that fee for Tijjani Reinders. And Manchester City's first bid will be over 50 million euros. And from what I know, even despite it being over 50 million euros, the first bid will not likely be accepted. It's a bid to test the waters of Milan and then see what kind of fee Milan are asking for this type of thing. So let's wait and see what happens, but it's still early stages in this one with Tijjani Reinders and Manchester City. Marcus Rashford then, who we know got injured a few weeks ago, leaving him out for the rest of the season, unfortunately, after he was playing very, very well at Aston Villa. But what can we say on Marcus Rashford then? Because we know many stories. He will not play for Manchester United again. This is no Manchester United plan is to sell him. Same with Anthony. Same with Jadon Sancho if he returns to the club. The plan is to sell him to create funds for other signings. And this is also the way of thinking for Marcus Rashford, where there is no real way back. So let's wait and see. But Manchester United then, what type of fee do they want for Marcus Rashford? And what I can now tell you, some information I've been working on for the last month, is that Manchester United want around £40 million for Marcus Rashford's permanent exit this summer, which is quite a lot of money for Aston Villa, the current loan club. And as I've said in previous videos, Aston Villa will wait to see if they qualify for Champions League football, because you know PSR is a thing that Aston Villa are kind of on the line with. So they have to wait, first of all, for players like Asensio, Marcus Rashford. Axel Disasi will not trigger the buy option for him. So let's wait and see what happens with Asensio and Rashford. But they will have to wait to see if they qualify for Champions League football before making an approach for Marcus Rashford to Manchester United on a permanent transfer this summer. And Marcus Rashford then. Marcus Rashford doesn't want to move to a London club. This surprises many, but this is one thing we can say. And this does leave him with limited options in the Premier League. So outside of the Premier League, we know AC Milan were interested in the summer. Maybe if Rafael Leao leaves this summer, that could become a real option. PSG also have interest, but Barcelona remains a dream move for for Marcus Rashford, this summer, and it was a dream transfer for him in January. So let's wait and see, because we know Barcelona are looking for a winger. Luis Diaz on the list. Marcus Rashford is a player of interest. So let's wait and see. But Barcelona remains a dream for Rashford. But Aston Villa still is an option if they do qualify for Champions League football. But Marcus Rashford, Manchester United want £40 million for Marcus Rashford this summer. Conceicao, we've talked about over the last month or so, a few months ago, should I say. We've talked about Francisco Conceicao and Juventus, a loan player, and the current thing or the current trend is that Juventus will not trigger the buy option for Francisco Conceicao. So, as said a few weeks ago, that Juventus will not make a final decision similar to Aston Villa. It's all dependent on Champions League football, but then we know they brought in the new manager, and under the new manager, Francisco Conceicao is not seen as a real important plan of the project. So it's now unlikely that Juventus do trigger the buy option for Conceicao after a pretty decent season with Juventus this season. So Francisco will now return to Porto after the loan expires in June, and he will discuss the next steps, and a permanent exit from Porto is likely to happen then, but the fee obviously will be a key point in this for what clubs move for Conceicao this summer. So let's wait and see. But Juventus will not trigger the buy option, unlikely anyway at the moment. So then, just a quick one on Rodrygo from Real Madrid. So there's been many rumours with Rodrygo, and what I know is Rodrygo has not definitely said he's leaving Real Madrid this summer. This hasn't happened. There's been no final decision from the player yet. There is some frustration from the player, but there's been no definitive answer if he'll leave or not. And as we've seen on social media recently, he's been showing his backing and supporting of the Real Madrid players even whilst being injured. So let's wait and see. But if Rodrygo is definitely open to a move from Real Madrid this summer, we know top clubs will be there, especially from the Premier League, with Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool all having previous interest. And we're going to talk about Arsenal on this one, and Arsenal and Mikel Arteta are big fans of Rodrygo, and this will be one club who definitely put themselves into the race for Rodrygo if he becomes available on the market and if he is open to the departure from Real Madrid this summer. But of course, similar with Alexander Isak and these type of clubs, a deal will all be dependent on the financial aspect of a deal, because we know Rodrygo, very good player, so the financial side will be key for a move for him this summer. There we go, and thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow bringing you the latest updates from the transfer market, and I'll see you in the next one.